I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What you talking about?
Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 140. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. And want to welcome all of you newcomers here, as well as all of you that have been here before. So if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe notification bell for when we drop another episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast for you all. But anyway... welcome on in, and Burley and Carl, how are you guys doing? Carl, I know you had some updates going with Windows before the show, so I hope that all worked out.
I just told Windows, look, 5 weeks you're on cooldown, okay? Do not even attempt to update at all. But it's already been like more than a month, this damn update. Every time you try it, it's just like something went wrong, got to undo it, and there's just no answer. That's Windows right now.
Okay, I think there's somebody in here though that might have an answer for you. Something right up Burley's alley. He could probably help you with those type of things.
Yeah,
right,
I can
Burley?
give you some. I can give you a few tech tips after this.
I've tried like maybe not a lot. Didn't put too much effort to it. I tried one or two things. I was like, you know what, not worth my time right now. I could just skip it.
Well, speaking of updates, I mean it's. Sometimes I only have like an hour or 2 hours to play a video game in a particular day. Like today, getting everything prepped up for the show and all. And it's funny. It's like when I want to get in to play a game and I turn on the console, then there's a system update. So like I turn on my PS5 today, and it's like I had about an hour to play, and it took about 25 minutes to download the system update and all. And get that all finished, and then I had about 30 minutes left to play. But
what was this on?
What's that?
What was that on? What system?
On the PS5.
PS5.
On the PS5. Yeah, I mean it always happens to me for some reason. It's like when I want to play, I turn on the system, and then there's a system update. Like like Xbox will have a system update. Like the user interface has been changing, as you probably know, Carl. So,
I still don't have it. Last time I tried, I've been trying the last couple of days, every day, turning my Xbox on, rebooting it over and over to try to get it. It's just not happening. It doesn't want me to have it.
Yeah, but
it's funny though. What you're saying reminds me of the PS3 era, which I guess things haven't changed. Where every time I turned that thing on, there was an update. I was like, freaking hell.
Yeah. All right, we got a great show for you. Of course, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Outlaws. We're going to talk about that because it's coming soon in 2024. We're going to be talking about a game coming actually in August that Burley has, a lot to say about. Sea of Stars. We're going to talk about that. And then we got a surprise news story that Carl wants to talk about, of course, Square Enix and Xbox. We'll talk about that. And then our topic of the show is going to be, what should the role of AI be in game development? It's going to be a discussion, and we hope to get some chat from you all and hear your comments on that as well. But before we get into those stories, and we're going to be talking also, of course, about the games that we've been playing this past week. Before we get into that, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast in audio and video formats.
Discuss what they have been playing. This episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearena productions for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version, it will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Productions, where you can join and chat with the Arena Productions community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena Productions. Now, back to the show.
I just want to say one thing about that, and I'm not going to change it. I'm not changing Twitter to X. I'm keeping it Twitter. I don't care. Everybody knows what Twitter is. Nobody cares about X.
We'll always be Twitter in my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
What's a Twitter?
Shut up, Burley. Come
Look,
on.
you know what I just did right now? I just posted the link on Threads for our show there. So
Nice.
Twitter is I'm trying to cut it out. I saw that X appeared on my home screen.
Yeah.
Deleted it off my home screen.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that X and that it's very similar to the Xbox Series, with the X and all.
It is, that series brand, little X branding that they did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, it's time to talk about the games we've been playing. I'm just going to briefly talk about the game that I've been playing. Obviously, since last week I was playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And I'm now in the desert areas, and I'm looking for some of the characters. And I've actually ran into them that were in the first game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So, I'm still having fun with that, but just making little bits of progress here and there. So that's all I really have to say about that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Burley, because you're next. So what have you been playing this past week?
Well, I've been playing Pikmin 4. I've done a few streams on it. It is much better than Pikmin 1. The AI is if you play 1 and then you go to 4, my God, the AI is so much better. Yeah. Because the AI in 1, that's why I have very, very to no hair left, because they made me rip it all out. It is a lot of fun. They do a lot. There are some quality of life improvements. I do like the little dungeons that they have that you can go and explore.
Okay.
They do a few things different where you can't have as many Pikmin out, and you have to find the onion upgrades so that way you can have more out. But they really are setting home of like, you can't just don't always have one type of Pikmin with you. You need to have multiple types and constantly changing when you're going into these dungeons and other stuff and swapping your Pikmin, but you can move your base around in these levels and maps you're going to.
Okay.
And the dog is a lot of fun. The little dog Ochi you get, because you can use him to help pick up things and use him to attack, use him to sniff the treasure if you don't want to look for it yourself or use the map. So there's a lot of great things in here.
Yeah, the dog is a great guide as well. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So how long of a game is this, Burley, do you think?
That is a good question. I got probably about 7 to 8 hours in. So, which is like, if you know what you're doing for Pikmin 1, you can finish Pikmin 1 in that time. I'm probably a good way through it, so I probably got about another, I would say, six hours left. But it all depends, like how much. Like, I'm trying to get as much of the treasure and all the upgrades and finding all the people I can.
Right, you're a completionist, so
I'm trying to go for the completion.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a Nintendo game. There's no way to know,
Oh, yeah, there's multiple endings. Yeah, there's no achievements or trophies kind of thing. Nintendo doesn't have the sticker thing that they had in the Wii U, so thank God, because I don't need that triggering my OCD.
Yeah.
But this has been the main game I've been playing. But I did start up Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on Steam. I've recorded a little short for us on the YouTube page, so please do go check it out. But
the deck.
Yep, on the deck.
Yeah, on the Steam Deck. Yep.
It does run well, and I'm just addressing this quick because people have been going back and forth. Yes, you can run the game without using it on the SSD and all that, or using it on your PC with a traditional hard drive. But trust me, you will notice the difference. Like, I even noticed the difference on the Steam Deck's SSD compared to my PS5. It runs very well, but it ran better on the PS5.
All right. So, Carl,
Well,
you
the PS5 is much more powerful than the Steam Deck, so let's not try to think that it would run that well, regardless of any situation, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Carl, you didn't tell me exactly what game you were playing, but I'm assuming that you were still playing Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Is that
I
correct?
am, yes. I have.
Okay.
I don't think I've gotten much farther.
Uh-huh.
Trying to think. I played a bit more, but I just haven't had a lot of time lately.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a job. Jobs suck. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, they might. Yeah. Sometimes
No, but I
they suck,
got some
sometimes
really
they're great.
Yeah, I've gotten some really great moments though in this game, and man, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I can't really say as much great things as I really would think, because it's just so many. There's just nothing to really criticize in this game. Early on, a little bit, this one maybe had a slower pace. There's one section where I was like, I don't know, but this section. But now I'm right back into it. It's getting really cool. It's great stuff happening.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil things that happen if you haven't played it. So, I did get to. Okay, I'm not gonna say what it is. There is a moment in this that is a serious, like, what the F moment.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if neither of you have played it, so you probably don't know.
I've not played them.
I have played it, but it's been
You
a
have?
while. I mean, I
So you
played
played
it
the
on
whole-
PS4.
the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, so you must know what I'm talking about. Like, there's a serious, like, I can't. How does the game even continue? And then,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, sure, that's bizarre, and
Yeah.
I guess the game, the lore of the game does warrant this to happen. They do kind of foreshadow it and set it up a little bit with something that happened earlier.
Yeah.
And it's wild. But I was like, you know what? I'm going with it. I think it works for the world they've created, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So no spoilers for that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a big eye opener for me as well.
Yeah,
played the game, so,
but it's awesome. I mean, look,
yeah,
I've never seen a video game do anything remotely like that.
Yeah.
So, kudos.
Yeah. All right, so it's time to get to the weekly news beat. So let's talk about the new game from Ubisoft that's going to be coming in 2024. So Star Wars Outlaws. So cool game. Looks cool at the moment. So we got a story here from IGN. So I will put the link for you below here for you video viewers. So this is for you audio listeners. This is from IGN. So I'm going to go read a little bit of this for you. And basically this is talking about Ubisoft had like a conversation with IGN, and Ubisoft was saying basically that this game is not going to be like your typical long ass Assassin's Creed RPG.
Thank you.
Star Wars Outlaws developers promise it won't be a 300-hour epic unfinishable RPG. So Ubisoft has a penchant for making long games. A completionist run in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, of course. Shout out. I'm wearing the Valhalla hat today. Actually, this is, well, not Valhalla, but Odyssey. But anyway, Odyssey was long as well. Run could take up to 143 hours, according to How Long to Beat. And some fans are worried that Star Wars Outlaws may be more of the same. The concerns stem from a recent interview confirming that a Star Wars Outlaws planet will comprise 2 to 3 zones. One of the main criticisms of Valhalla, for example, was that it felt bloated with content, as Burley would always remind us, that many players felt underwhelming, which was exemplified by its huge number of map icons. Speaking with IGN during San Diego Comic-Con, creative director Julian Garrity and narrative director Navid Kavari addressed the question of what they consider to be, quote, too big, end quote, in Star Wars Outlaws. Garrity responded that, quote, too big is a game that people don't manage to play, enjoy, and finish, end quote. Quote, our objective is to really get people into a very dense, rich adventure, open world adventure that they can explore at their own rhythm, end quote, Garrity said. Quote, so it is absolutely not a 200 or 300 hour epic unfinishable RPG. This is a very focused action adventure RPG that will take people on a ride and is very manageable, end quote. Well, that's all great and dandy. However, that's pretty much what Ubisoft said about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And look how that turned out. Turned out to be over 300 plus hours. And I put like over 200 hours into it. And with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I put probably about 250 because I platinumed Odyssey. So, I mean, yeah. What are your guys' take on this? I'm really excited for this game, but a lot of the criticisms that go Ubisoft's way is there's lots of copy and paste when it comes to a lot of the development of these games. And I mean, some people might not want to complete it all. I don't know. What do you guys think? Carl, I'll start with you.
Well, when it comes to these open world games, I mean, you're going to figure there has to be that amount of content. Not that you have to play all of it, but yeah, I mean, it's become an expectation that you have like at least 100 hours, right, of something you can do in this type of a game. Yeah. Whether that's content that the average person will ever touch or care about, it's a different story. You should never really force someone to have to play that much or feel like they need to play that much.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I like that they're talking about this at least because, yeah, I mean, I want, a game like this, like I want to say 40 to 60 hours, a really good 40 to 60 hours.
I just want side quests that have more meaning. Like in the Assassin's Creed games, for example, go bring this guy his chicken. It's like in the farm or something. It's like hopefully in this game in Outlaws, it's like, okay, go find this guy's blaster. It really doesn't have much meaning. I mean, make it more worthwhile, and then I'll put more of the time into it. You know what I'm saying?
On that note, I would say then you probably shouldn't play very many open world games because that's the design of it, right? Like what are they supposed to do, really? Like, are they really going to spend? How much development time would it take and resources to really flesh out like hundreds of interesting side quests?
Well, when we get to the topic of the show, talking about AI and what they're probably going to be doing with NPCs, I mean, that could become more interesting when it comes to game development, because then you're going to have NPCs that, could possibly have like political intrigue or something, and that can have a real conversation with you and actually, spin the game in many different directions. So, but
yeah, I mean, like, if I could name two franchises, really, okay, maybe three, sorry, that have meaningful side quests off the top of my head. And that's like The Witcher, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
And that's by design, right? Like that's it's a focus. Like those games are designed to have a good, cool core mainline quest, but then a large portion of those games is also making sure there's other interesting quest lines throughout the world.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of games designed that way.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously we've learned that Star Wars Outlaws, the time frame is between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And we find out also that you can work for Jabba the Hutt, and you could also go against him as well. So there will be playable missions on Tatooine as well. So yeah, whether or not they're interesting and they have a lot of meaning, we shall see. Burley, your thoughts on all this? Because I know you're playing Valhalla and playing a lot of these Ubisoft games. You just feel that they're bloated and all.
Oh, Valhalla was that was just a bloated mess. Like good way into the story, they just like, we're gonna forget expanding the main story and just have you go to all these provinces and areas and not explain anything and just have it bloated and bloated and bloated and it took what could have been a good 30-hour story, made it to about 70 hours just to beat the main story, and it was just bloated. And by the time you get to the end, you're like, okay, I don't care about doing this. Like, I'm glad they've come out and said they're doing this because people have been thinking, this is Ubisoft. Look at their last couple games. I don't want a bloated game. They're saying this to get people be like, no. We're going to give you a good story, give it to you at a good length, because I don't necessarily need a long story. If you give me a good 20-hour story where it's good and I'm really enjoying it in every play session when I'm putting it down, being like, I want to just keep playing more and more. I kind of see where it goes, but I got to go to bed and all that. You've done well.
Yeah.
And as Carl has pointed out, most of these open worlds, all the side quests is just crap. It's just crap. It's just recycled, boring. And but there are very few games, like Carl did mention, Oblivion's, and all that, like the Elder Scrolls Fallout and Witcher do it well. But I'm going to bring back to the one Sony game, Ghost of Tsushima did it well, where I did everything in there because the side stuff I really enjoyed, and it was actual benefits you saw. If you kept doing these things, you would increase your health more, increase your focus, so you could do more of your techniques or healing, and getting the different techniques and how they do the little stories for the techniques, and they're not long drawn out side stuff.
Yeah,
it's good length. Like, if you give me content like that, that in this open world where it's like, okay, I actually want to do this, great, I want more of that, but I know that's going to cost money and cost development time. But I'd rather have that than just have the thing on the back of the box where they're like, you could put over 500 hours in this game to complete everything. Because whenever I hear that, like when they did it for, I think it was Dying Light 2, I think, because they're boasting the 500 hours. And I'm like, okay, that just means to me, that just means to me, you're copying, pasting content, and it's just going to be, I'm doing this and be like, playing this, and as I'm playing it, be like, why am I sitting here and playing this when I can play something much better and reward my time better?
Yeah, I think, there's going to be a good mix between space missions as well as planetary missions. So I think it's going to keep a lot of people occupied. I think Carl, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but this is going to be an entirely different beast from like, say, Starfield, because I think Starfield is a game where, the exploration aspect of it all is going to make you play like 500 plus hours probably. So,
different kind of game. I mean, Burley said, 70 hours in Valhalla to like get through the main story, and that to me is like, no, don't really do that. And it's in this type of game. You got, like I said, I want 40 to 60 hours, but I mean, including doing a significant amount of side stuff, that's what Hogwarts Legacy gave me. And that's why I like that game so much. Like, I did the main story. I tried to do a decent amount of side stuff and looking through the map and going places and hitting the little markers and stuff. And then I was done. And I was happy with that experience. And I could go back and try to complete it, but that's not for me. There's more there, but that's how it should be.
Yeah. I want to go back to what Burley was saying about Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, learning about Japanese historical culture in that aspect is one of the great reasons why, putting a lot of time in that game is you can learn a lot. And that's what I did from like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, learning a lot about ancient Greek culture and doing all the side quests and all, and going to the different islands and everything. That was the fun part of it all. So it depends on the genre of game. It depends on what you're interested in, I think. That's going to be the main factor of whether you're going to put 100, 200, or 300 plus hours into a video game, and not mind having a 70-hour main quest. So, yeah. Okay. Well, Burley, Sea of Stars. So we're excited for this game. It's coming out soon. So of course I'm going to put for you video viewers the link to the article I'm going to refer to here from the PlayStation blog. So Sea of Stars available launch date as a PlayStation Plus game catalog title. So let's take a look at the game. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of it, and I'm going to read the article for you. So for all you audio viewers, this is from the PlayStation blog, so you can go there and check out this story. So let me get that back here. There you go. And so Sabotage Studio was founded with a clear goal, presenting definitive editions of a game genre that they grew up playing. By combining retro aesthetics and modern design, they shoot for experiences that capture what they love about games of old while leaving behind the elements that they feel might hold them back. So Sea of Stars will be available as a PlayStation Plus game catalog title on launch day. So, of course, Sabotage Studio is extremely excited to confirm that Sea of Stars will be joining the PlayStation Plus game catalog, available for all extra and premium members on launch day, August 29th. And it's incredible to imagine how many more players worldwide will experience Sea of Stars and join the conversation around the Sabotage Studios project. And there is a demo that is also available now. So, Burley, take it away. So what do you think of this coming to the PlayStation catalog? It's also coming to Game Pass, but it's coming to the PlayStation Plus game catalog.
I was pleasantly surprised when they finally announced that, because I got the first because I am a Kickstarter backer. So on this, they notified us backers first, and then it came out. It's nice that finally the demo has now come to PlayStation, which is great. Now, I really hate that they staggered the demo so much on all the different platforms. But it's nice now, and every platform's got the demo, so you can try it out. And now it's going on PlayStation Extra. So I know a few people that wanted to pick this up might not necessarily had the cash flow at the time, and then they're like, "Great, I can experience this on Extra, or I can experience this on Game Pass." It just gets this game out there in more and more places, and more people have the chance to try it out.
Carl, your thoughts on this?
I was a bit surprised because it was already announced to be day one in Game Pass. So this has to be the first example of any game ever being day one on both services. Well, I mean, it definitely is, because there's so few on PS Plus, like Extra. We would know. So I'm curious as to how that came about. I'm sure we'll never really know, why they decided they were going to do this. I mean, it's I guess Switch is the odd man out. They got no service to put it on. So,
oh no, it'll come on the Nintendo expansion
shop or something.
Yeah, right. I guess PC also, there's not really services like that. But it is interesting that if this was announced for PS Plus Extra first, definitely wouldn't be on Game Pass. They don't allow that, so there's no way they would have made that not part of the contract, to put it on there. So curious, very curious, but great. More people will play this game now. Yeah, we are seeing this. We haven't seen much with PlayStation Plus. They haven't really talked about too much, right? Like the games that launched in there, like Stray, and what was the other one? There's maybe two others. Chia or something. Was that one of them?
Chia.
Chia.
Right, and like the impact of that. But we've seen a lot of that with Xbox. Exoprimal talked about how they had 1 million players, and a good portion of that was Xbox Game Pass players. So these type of services really do get your game in more hands. So it is worthwhile to do so.
Yeah. Yep. So, Sea of Stars, good stuff. Yeah, looking forward to it. So, Burley comes out on the 29th, right? Are you playing it day one?
Oh yeah, I'm playing it day one. I just don't know which platform to play it on day one necessarily because I've got a Steam key and I've also got a PlayStation key coming to me for backing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you have Game Pass, so
And then I have it on Game
you can play
Pass.
it everywhere.
That's the thing. I can play it everywhere. I just don't have it on the Switch, and it's like
Right.
I have no desire. Not that it won't run well on the Switch. Like I played when they released the demos, it firstly came to the Switch. I played
Yeah.
the demo on the Switch, and it ran well on there. It's just like I have no desire to buy it another time.
Just think if the Vita was still supported, that game would have been the perfect game to put on the Vita as well.
Well, you can play it on Project Q whenever that comes out.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
So-
that is true.
Yeah. All right.
No, I mean the Switch. The Switch is the Vita. It's better than a Vita, and it's better than Vita
Yeah,
ever
of course.
was.
Yeah,
So-
of course. Well, it's a hybrid. That's why. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
Well, I have
just
the
a
Switch
handheld,
Lite,
but
and the
yeah.
Switch Lite is awesome. I love it. It's like the best handheld I've ever owned because, the library is fantastic on the Switch.
Well, yeah, well, the library was fantastic on the Vita too, so, but it wasn't supported,
I think that's
unfortunately. By
debatable.
I'll debate that any day.
In Japan, the library was much better than out here. In
Oh
North
yes.
America.
Oh yes.
I think Carl and I can agree on that.
Oh,
Did you think
yes.
the GameCube library was great?
It was all right?
Well,
It was
that's
all right.
Vita, right? Like Vita's not. I can imagine Vita has a smaller library than GameCube, right?
Well, no, I mean, Carl. I mean, we're getting off topic
yeah.
here, but I mean, the Vita basically was an indie darling. I mean, so many indie
Did
games
become
there
that, yeah.
from the West and here in Japan. So
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, okay.
It's a
So-
cool piece of hardware. When I first
Yeah.
got it, the original with the OLED was really nice.
All right, Carl, this one's for you. You're excited about this, so I had to throw it in.
Dude,
Today,
it's
so.
big news, right?
We'll see. I'll talk about that. I'll
We
talk
will
about
see,
that
you're
later.
right.
I'll talk about that later. But anyway, so Square Enix promises to bring games to Xbox whenever possible, following Final Fantasy 14 announcement. So for all of you video viewers, I will throw the link here. So this is from IGN, and of course this dropped yesterday, I think, Carl. Yeah. So your
Yeah, it
guys'
just
time.
happened.
So yeah, it just happened basically. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit of this now. So Square Enix announced that its successful MMO RPG Final Fantasy 14 is on its way to Xbox consoles after years of being a PlayStation console exclusive. And to hear the CEO of Square Enix tell it, it sounds like Xbox has successfully ensured that even more Square Enix games will end up on its consoles in the coming years. And I have some comments about that later on. During the Final Fantasy Fan Fest 2023, Final Fantasy 14 game director Yoshida Naoki welcomed Xbox head Phil Spencer onto the stage alongside Square Enix CEO Kiryu Takashi to celebrate the Xbox release announcement. While on stage, Kiryu made the following statement, quote, "And one more thing. As CEO of Square Enix, we want to continue to deliver fabulous games to fans across the world. And of course, we want to welcome the Xbox community as well. And starting with today's announcement of Final Fantasy 14 coming in spring 2024, and whenever possible, we are planning to bring our games to Xbox for players around the world to enjoy. We're really looking forward to working closely with Phil and the Xbox team to make this possible," end quote. In response, Spencer said the following, quote, "Thank you, Kiryu-san. We deeply respect the rich legacy of Square Enix, and we look forward to building on the relationship that we've established in bringing Final Fantasy 14 to the Xbox and partnering closely with you and the Square Enix team on future games," end quote. All right. So, I think this is great for Xbox. But be careful what you wish for, because now this is my opinion, and this is coming from somebody who's lived in Japan for 27 years. Okay. So what it says here, whenever possible. So never take anything that a Japanese person says directly at face value. I hope this, like I said, this is great. Final Fantasy 14 coming to Xbox is awesome. And I hope that a lot of other Square Enix titles are going to come to Xbox in the near future and into the future. But you can never completely take words of Japanese people at face value, because a lot of times they always tell you what they don't truly mean. So you got to be careful with this, with the expectation now. So it could be a great thing. I'm hoping it is, but a lot of other Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 16 is still a PlayStation exclusive. PlayStation could still buy Square Enix and just completely squash all of this. It's just, there's a lot of instances in Japanese culture where Japanese people they won't tell you what they truly mean or what they feel. So this could be that the Square Enix executives are trying to make Phil feel happy, and they're giving him Final Fantasy 14 and giving Xbox and the Xbox community Final Fantasy 14. But in a year or two, we might be in the same situation. I hope not. I really hope not. But from experience of living here in Japan and dealing with Japanese executives and Japanese people, you cannot take pretty much anything at face value. I mean, you have to, because sometimes they will tell you things that they don't truly mean or truly feel. So that's just my opinion on this. I really am happy for the Xbox community that they're getting Final Fantasy 14. I think this is awesome news, and I hope that we continue as Xbox gamers as well as multi-platform gamers, that Square Enix will bring most of its games to all platforms, not just PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo or whatever. But yeah, just your expectations for the future with this. Just don't be surprised if you might get disappointed in the future. So that's my take. Carl, go ahead. It's your turn.
Well, this is obviously huge news. I think it's a very big deal. I know what you're saying. I'm not going to dispute that. You definitely would know, but I do think the actions speak louder than the words.
I hope so.
Actually making this happen is a really big deal. Of committing to putting a live service MMO on another platform and ensuring crossplay with all the other platforms is a lot. It's work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that to me tells me that they resolved whatever big issue they may have had, right, between the two companies,
mm-hmm.
and have now been able to come together on a very big deal that clearly, with the statement, means more than just this one game.
Yeah, I hope so.
And the word whenever possible. I mean, to me, that's just sort of like, hey, look, like there are other deals in play, and I think that means Final Fantasy VII remake, might not be possible for the time being, or Final Fantasy 16 clearly, for the time being. And who knows? Maybe there are games that for their lifetime will never come. Right? That's possible. But I think we can start to expect, and I hope that at TGS this year, we get a few announcements of the smaller stuff like Octopath Traveler 2, Tactics Ogre Remaster that skipped. What was some of the smaller ones? Or even maybe like Forspoken could come, because that's a game that had 2 years. What's that?
Pixel remasters.
Pixel remasters, yes. So there's a lot of options out there for all the smaller games. And I also think we can now look forward and say that it's a good chance that Dragon Quest 12 and Kingdom Hearts 4 will indeed launch day one on Xbox. As we all kind of had thought until this breakdown seemed to happen, right? Like that would have been the thought, considering Dragon Quest 11 came to Xbox and Kingdom Hearts 3 launched on Xbox. So yeah, I mean, this is exciting. This really looks like they have mended the breakdown in their relationship, and that they have formed some sort of agreement, and they will be bringing more Square Enix games. Yeah, could they sell to Sony? I guess. I feel like this makes that sort of very unlikely. Like it kind of seems like this new CEO is like,
seems that way. It seems
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
This new CEO is trying to, do different things, and which is good, right? Because I think what they're doing wasn't necessarily working. They constantly saying like, this game was a disappointment. This was a disappointment, in sales. And you can see him not doing that now, because with Final Fantasy 16, I don't think those sales are stellar, especially for that size of a game, And he didn't say it was a disappointment, or at least the company didn't, right? That wasn't the company thing. They were trying to look at the positive. And I think that's smart, because if you keep saying all our games are a disappointment to us in sales, that's not a good look for your company. So this is awesome. I cannot wait for the next announcement of a Square Enix game, for Xbox.
Yeah, I for your sake and everybody else's sake, I hope you're right, and I hope this works out. Just just keep your optimism at a minimum, please. I mean, from experience of living out here. I mean, because I mean, there's a lot of times when they'll tell you something and they really mean the opposite.
I thought Japanese people took honor very seriously.
Obviously, they take honor very seriously, but
this is dishonorable for you to make this deal and be like, you know what, Xbox, we're selling to Sony. See you later. You lost everything.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, Burley, go ahead. It's your chance to chime in on this. Go ahead.
Well, it's about time this game finally came on there. Like, remember the last expansion last year? They had to stop selling the game when it came out because it sold so well and their servers couldn't handle all the influx. So this is very interesting. So it seems to me like they're like, okay, we finally got our back end in-house, because they've also announced we've got the next expansion coming next year in summer for 2024. So it's like, we've got their next expansion. They're like, okay, let's get this out for Microsoft. Get this out on the Xbox platform, because this thing is on everything. Like, I can run it's Steam Deck verified Final Fantasy 14.
Right.
So it's like, I'm wondering if there was some backroom deals and stuff that were going on with, like, maybe with the whole like Activision stuff with the whole Call of Duty. Okay, I know Sony signed a 10-year deal, but they may have did some stuff. Okay, can you knock it off on Final Fantasy 14? Because I'm sure Sony had a big part of that being only on PlayStation. So maybe there were some deals that way finally made, or deals expired.
Yeah.
And Microsoft was able to come in and be like, yeah, we want this on Xbox, get it on there.
Yeah.
And it just shows that this helps give this MMO, like, I know it's got a lot of staying power, but it just helps now, because I'm sure a couple million Xbox players will go on it and start playing 14, or if they've already have it on something else, being like, oh, I can play this on my Xbox as well. Just log into my account.
So, Carl, I have a question for you. Why are they waiting until 2024 to bring this to the Xbox?
I mean, I assume it's not ready yet. They said spring 2024. So they're probably still working on this, porting it. It's a lot of work.
So the port. Yeah.
But also that seems like good timing, because if the new update is in the new expansion is summer, gives Xbox players some time to jump in, get excited, and then the new expansion comes not too far out from where they started. Yeah. Assuming that does come day one, which I think would make sense, right? It would be kind of awful if it didn't.
Yeah.
They are also getting, if you saw that you get to play, I think it was normal, you get to play Realm Reborn always for free, but also have Heaven's Word and Stormblood expansion, so you can go up to level 70 for free. I mean, that's a ton of content. If I ever play this game, I'll tell you what, I'm never getting that far.
Well, I'll keep my eyes out here when TGS rolls around to see what Square Enix has, for Xbox. Any announcements and things like that. But it's
Do you
just
also
go ahead.
remember
Mhm.
back this like many years ago they announced this was going to happen, by the way. Like this isn't this is a deal that's at some point broke down because when they announced, you remember when they announced all those Final Fantasy games were coming to Game Pass?
Yeah.
This was like, I don't know how many years ago now.
Was it
Can't
like
even tell.
maybe 2 years ago or so?
2-3 years
that was
ago.
like
around
probably
that.
like 4 years ago. I think. Because they announced that it was like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, HD, 15, 13, all of those games were like coming to Game Pass, right? And then over the time, they eventually rolled out. There wasn't all at once.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And in that announcement, they also said, and Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox at some point, and they never said when. So like, this has been a source of issue problems for them, and some people used to point to the idea that it had something to do with. You remember you couldn't play free to play games on Xbox without having Xbox Live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just have to say this one more time. I hate reiterating all this, but whenever possible, I just don't like that wording. Whenever possible, because I mean, Final Fantasy 14, that's a done deal. Okay, but other games, all right. Whenever possible, Phil, we want to make you really happy. We want to do business with you. We like you, and we want to do business with Xbox. But then PlayStation throws us millions and millions of dollars so that it stays only on PlayStation. So we can't turn that down. Sumimasen deshita. Well, we're sorry. That's just. I mean, that's.
But being honest, right? Because they will still take probably PlayStation deals potentially, right? But maybe we can think they won't take them on some games, or any game that they don't, right? But then also you can't just say Sony, because Nintendo does it too. I mean, Triangle Strategy, Octopath Traveler.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? You get what I'm saying. I'm with that. Whenever possible, that kind of brings up alarm bells, kind of. Here in Japan, that's like alarm bells. Be careful. Yeah,
I think that's what they're talking about. Like Live Alive, for example. It's not on. Is it not on PlayStation yet? I don't know if that happened.
It is on PlayStation. It is on Steam. Yeah, they gave it earlier in the year. I get what you're meaning there, Expat, the warning bells and all that, because it also, remember, Nintendo had way back in the 90s, had a deal with Sony to make the Nintendo PlayStation. At that time, they went to Philips.
I was here. Yeah.
And they went to Philips and be like, hey, you make us a CD console.
Yep.
And then they announced the Philips CDI. Boom. And then we're like, we're no longer working with PlayStation. Boom. PlayStation got stabbed in the back on that.
Boom.
Went revenge.
I remember that. Yep.
And they crushed everyone after that.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, let us know in the comments what you think about this. Do you think about this awesome news? And are you really excited to play Final Fantasy 14 if you haven't played it on, if you're an Xbox gamer? So let us know, and what do you think of the future of business dealings between Square Enix and Xbox and Microsoft? Let us know in the comments what you think about this story. So anyway, it's time to move on. It's time to talk about AI. So our topic of the show. So what kind of role should AI take in game development? So there's a lot of people, obviously, that are worried that AI might start taking over full game development, creating game environments, which would probably lead to game developing companies laying off a lot of staff. So that's one thing that a lot of people worry about. For me, I'm really interested in NPC character creation. And I think what AI's role is really going to be, probably in the near future, is serving like the background characters that populate the gaming worlds. I think that that's going to be heavily influenced by AI in the near future. So just imagine, do you remember that game Watch Dogs Legion?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you had all these NPC characters and you could, recruit all these different NPCs and they had, different personalities and all. So just imagine AIs having more, to do with the development of those characters and their personalities and how they would be able to function and deal with you playing, say, side quests in a particular game. I think that's going to be something that's going to be impacted by AI a lot in the future. Yes, game performance is another issue. Of course, AI algorithms, obviously, are going to be used to reduce loading times and all. So, of course, you got the SSDs and all, and, loading times are going to get a lot quicker. But what a lot of people might be worrying about is, will the games, still be well optimized, and will it be still a buggy mess due to AI? That's another thing. So I'll throw it to you guys. What do you think the role is going to be for AI in game development in the near future? Let's kind of, not look too far into the future, but say the next 5 to 10 years. What do you think? Burley, I'll start with you on this. What do you think?
Yeah, this I've been thinking about, but like actually Valve has made a little statement on this on AI, because they've noticed people have been trying to they said any games that come on with AI generated art, they're not allowing, because they're fearing people will just do copying and pasting and using AI to just copy and paste art,
Well,
and just to get game.
Actors and actresses in the entertainment industry, they're already fearing that as well.
Yeah.
So that they could just they could just take the images from a person's face and then make an AI character, and then the actors and actresses don't even get paid for it. So go ahead, Carl. You were going to say.
I was just going to say, the thing with AI art is that it is somewhat plagiarizing other people's art, because that's what it's trained on.
Yeah.
So that I see why Steam doing that, because you can't prove that they didn't just the machine didn't look at somebody's art and say, all right, I'm just going to sort of copy that style or copy almost exactly, but change a few things, and you're not going to tell you that they did that. So
yeah. I'm curious to see what AI, how it's going to be used, but I'm also fearful that it is going to take a lot of writing jobs out, because you have people already that have been using AI for TV shows and stuff like that, and it's just kicking out writers. And like we did a story a few weeks back, they were going to use it not for main quest dialogue, but they were going to use it for like NPCs and stuff like that, which I'm like, I'm a little weary on that, because I feel like the AI is just going to steal, like pretty much steal conversations from other areas and just cherry pick and take here, there. And it's going to be like, oh, I remember hearing that, and they'll try and make the line unique, but it'll be like, I remember hearing that line in Starfield, but I'm playing XYZ game.
It's going to be interesting to see how, for example, realistic emotions for NPCs are going to be impacted by AI. If they'll be, more realistic or not. So that's one thing I'm really interested in seeing.
Yeah. But that's a problem I see with AI, because we're talking about writing, we're talking about ChatGPT, right? That's what we're talking about. It's the underlying technology for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And what ChatGPT is doing is just it's taking data and it's able to read that and then write things in a very human manner, right? But it doesn't know anything, right? It doesn't know it doesn't know facts, it doesn't know emotions, right? Obviously, because it's not an actual artificial intelligence, right?
Mhm.
It's really just a very advanced piece of software.
Mhm.
One that can sort of learn in some aspects, but not others, because it's very frequently wrong, right?
Yeah.
If you talk to an AI, one of these chat GPT versions, right, you will be able to get a wrong answer and then tell it, hey, that's wrong. And then it will look and you tell it that, and I'm like, oh yes, you're right. I checked, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
So if you don't, that's the thing is, if you don't know it's telling you something wrong, then you've just been lied to. and that's the limitation of what this can do, right? So like, will it create emotion? I mean, I don't think it has that ability. Can it try to fake that based on data?
Mhm.
I guess, but will you actually get any profound storytelling or meaning from anything that it writes? I'm not sure.
Mm.
So I think what you're saying about like NPCs, background stuff, you're going to streamline that type of content, right? You're going to make it easier. You're probably going to lose a few jobs, right? But will that be good for the quality of that content? Maybe. Yes, I could see that. I think overall, if you're trying to write something like a TV show or a movie, I don't think this type of AI is going to make anything of high quality.
How do you guys feel about the faster development cycles? That as AI is evolving. I mean, because there have been, people talking about how, AAA games these days take more than 5 years to develop, 5 to 7 year cycles. Possibly with AI involvement, it could, be drastically cut. But how do you feel about that?
And depends on what you're using it for, right? Like, I think for art, I mean, I guess if you're talking about textures and things, maybe you can have AI art do that stuff quicker.
Yeah.
For writing, I don't know that that's really slowing down your dev process, right? You look at something like the Elder Scrolls games, and they have like textbooks worth of books you can read in there, and I kind of don't think that's the thing that held up those games, right?
Yeah.
I get it. You could use it to shave and make it a little bit faster on some of the areas. I still don't think it's going to help that much. But like, even if you did, let's say you went crazy and you used AI to do a lot of stuff in there and just to get your game out faster. You used it to do most of your dialogue, most of your art and backgrounds and all that. It's going to come out and we're going to be like, okay, this just doesn't feel like a lot of people really, worked on this. It feels inhuman. I'm just imagining it's not going to feel as organic and be like, okay, they did AI to streamline something that would take 5 years into 2 years.
But is that going to matter to everyone though? I mean, there's going to be a lot of younger gamers out there that they don't give a crap about whether a human made it or an AI made it. If it looks beautiful, and if it's like a first person shooter that the world looks realistic as hell, they're not going to mind.
True. There is going to be people that are going to be like that, and then there's going to be like cynical people like me, because I'm going to go because they're not going to put the cost down on the game. They're not going to be like, well, it's not going to be not an $89 before tax game here in Canada. It's not like they're going to be like, well, because we used a lot of AI, we're going to put it at $50. They're going to still put it at full price. And I'm going to be like, I paid full price for this, and this is what I'm getting.
Yeah, but are the companies going to like hold or withhold information about whether or not like the majority of the project has been done by AI or not?
Some will lie and say like, we used AI sparsely for a few elements here. Yeah. They're not going to tell you that they used it for mostly everything, because they know people are going to be like, well,
yeah,
how many employees?
could you just imagine an ESRB rating? The rating is like different because the AI's worked on the game, AI development. They have to
Rated
put,
AI for AI development.
or they have to put some message like, warnings or something on the boxes now, or whatever we're going to have in the future when it comes to physical copies of games, which honestly, I think physical copies of games are on their way out. But if there is a physical copy, there might be some like labeling saying, if this game was strictly developed with AI. I mean, who knows? But
Yeah, I do wonder if they probably won't have to disclose that even in maybe the credits, right?
yeah.
Maybe they would put that in there.
Mhm.
But I kind of feel like a lot of the development that's going to happen with AI is going to be using it as a tool. So as you would use some sort of like 3D, modeling software or some other, script writing software, right, to help you, outline and stuff, right?
Right.
So I don't know that they'll really tell you about it. They might have to put up like the logo somewhere, how they do like the technology logos in the beginning of the thing, like you got your PhysX thing years ago or whatever they have now. So yeah, it is interesting because remember that this is still a lot of this technology is ChatGPT we're talking about, a lot of it, and then there's the art ones.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for that, right? This stuff is running on a server somewhere. Right. You can't just, it's not hard coded into your game.
No.
It would need internet access to utilize those type of things on the fly.
Yeah.
Now I think that would be a cool and interesting game if you designed a game that worked around using ChatGPT to have meaningful conversations, or at least more interesting conversations that remember the things you said to it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But I don't think that works for, a game that you've written out a full-length story and has to run a certain way. Like, doesn't necessarily require, if it doesn't require the internet, then it's not going to really work. So, it'll be very interesting.
I just see it's going to be used for the foreseeable future, say the next 5 or 10 years. It'll be used as a tool, but then in the next 20 years or so, that's when you could probably start getting worried about, well, the human element is going to be taken out of the equation, and a lot of companies are going to just start, depending entirely on AI to produce these games. That's just my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. But for now, it's just a tool to help in the development process. So, yeah, AI, man. So, yeah. Did you guys know, speaking of TV shows, Marvel Secret Invasion, obviously we're going to be doing our series recap and discussion of that after we finish recording this live episode of the podcast. But did you know that the opening scene, the opening credits scene in each episode of Marvel Secret Invasion, that's all AI generated? And there was a lot of blowback for that. So
yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I think it was a design choice for that show, because a lot of the imagery you see is very haunting, and I thought it was thematically made sense. And I'm pretty sure that it wasn't like, hey, AI, create this art and we're done, right? Like there was a lot of utilizing it as a tool, right?
As a tool, right?
To ask it to make specific things. And then once it did, I'm sure they had to then expand upon that to make this full thing, right? It's not like there wasn't any humans behind that, any actual artists behind it.
Right. Burley, any final words about AI? You spooked out about it? Yeah.
Skynet is coming.
Skynet. I knew you were going to say Skynet in there. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be, man. It could be our future.
Yeah. Probably not, but yeah.
We need to give Arnold a motorcycle and a shotgun stat.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're creating the means for an AI to do a lot of things, right?
Oh yeah.
Like once you actually have legit AI, right? I mean, now we know that you can create AI that can talk to you as if it was a human. It seems like it's a real person talking to you.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean,
once
look
it's
at
actually thinking behind the scenes, be careful.
well, look at like Sophia, and other AI robots, that look human and actually talk to people as a human would. That's
We're
just going to
getting
get
there.
more. We're getting there. It's more and
Yeah.
more sophisticated. So,
Yeah,
I
look,
mean,
I don't-
even I was going to say, even here in Japan, there's like all AI controlled hotels. Yeah, all
Yeah.
the staff in the front, it's all robotic and stuff. Yeah. So.
I do kind of view the human mind as an organic machine, right? And
Yeah.
one day we will have the technology to replicate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Artificial like hearts and then artificial brains like in the next 500 600 years maybe.
Yeah, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
machines get control if they can control an entire factory and they're 3D printing, bodies for themselves. I mean,
It's
could
coming.
happen.
Yeah,
Could happen.
it's coming, but it's like just very slow pace.
So hopefully
right.
soon I can get that liquid metal body upgrade for me.
Yeah, that's gonna be a while, Burley. No,
No,
Burley's
Burley.
gonna be like Ted Williams, Carl. You remember what Ted Williams's body? Ted Williams decided to have his body cryogenically frozen, so that
I
some
remember that, yeah.
hundreds of years from now they can
Mhm.
defreeze him, and then he could be the baseball player that he was. So,
Hey,
that's what Burley's gonna be. Burley's gonna be cryogenically frozen, and then he's gonna come back 500 years from now. Burleyman Gaming version 2.
There was a story I think I just saw the other day. I think it was was it 40-something thousand-year-old worm that was like frozen that they brought back?
Yeah.
But that's a worm. I mean,
but still
far less complicated than a human.
Yeah. Well, you can think of like Michael Crichton's, Jurassic Park and the mosquito that was, that had the
Amber.
the inside the ember. Yeah. So anyway.
But Burley, the machines, they're not giving you an upgrade. Okay, you're obsolete to them.
Yeah.
Okay? you're going into the tank for fuel. Okay.
Yeah. No, he'll just go into a BAFTA tank. Yeah. So in the future. Yeah. So. And they'll keep him in the BAFTA tank for a few hundred years. Yeah. All right, we're getting off of topic completely here. So we're talking about BAFTA tanks. We were supposed to be talking about AI taking over game development. But anyway, yeah, that was our topic of the show. What is the role for AI in game development? What should it be? So anyway, it's time to move on, and it's time to talk about our new game releases. So you can check out the new game releases at releases.com. So for you video viewers, the link is below. For all of you audio listeners, www.releases.com. You can see all the games that are going to be releasing this upcoming week. And we're going to be talking about the games for July 31st through August 6th. So, Burley, you are up first. So what game do you have for us this week? What is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Baldur's Gate 3. Gather your party and return to the Forgotten Realms in a tale of fellowship and betrayal, sacrifice and survival, and the lure of absolute power. Mysterious abilities are awakened inside of you. Draw from a mind flare parasite planted in your brain. Resist and turn darkness against itself, or embrace corruption and become ultimate evil.
Talking about brain again. There you go. Brains, Carl. Yeah.
Just a gift.
That's the gift for sure.
So it's coming to PC Thursday, August 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
But the other platforms like PlayStation and Xbox are getting it later in the year. I think PlayStation, it's the same day Starfield comes out.
Naughty squirrel watch.
I know.
What I mean, weird choices for the things they're showing in this, but I guess they're just like, hey, look, this game's sexy too.
Well, this game has been out for like 2 years in early access.
Yeah.
And for the first couple months, it was like, okay, we got a new build out. Delete your save. It's going to delete your save data. So you have to restart. So it's finally nice to see that the game will actually be out, because I've been very curious on this, because I played the original Baldur's Gate way, way back in the 90s.
Yeah, so did I. I don't remember if I played 2 as well. But
See, I can't. I don't have any memories of 2. I have memories of 1.
Yeah.
I may have tried 2, but
yeah, I mean, it was at the time. I thought it was great. I love that type of game. But today, yeah, I don't know if I'm into that sort of actiony CRPG type of gameplay.
Yeah.
But could be. I'm
it's
curious
the
of
word
their
action.
final
It
review.
scares you, doesn't it?
What's that?
It's the word action. It scares
Action,
you in
man.
RPGs.
Yeah, I gotta. That's chill. I'd like the slower pace, But yeah, I'm curious what the reviews will be because the early access reviews weren't all that stellar. They were fine.
All right. So next up, my pick of the week is Oceanhorn 2. So this is kind of like the Zelda clone. So Knights of the Lost Realm, Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm, set 1,000 years before the events of the first chapter. Takes you on a magical journey across the vast world of Gaia, brimming with mythology and lore. A young knight faces an impossible challenge as warlock Mesmeroth has returned with a formidable dark army. Will our hero be able to unite the Oris, Guildfolk, and Arcadians in a fight for the fate of the world? So it comes out on August 2nd for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X by Corn Fox and Brothers and FDG Entertainment. So yeah, excited for this one. Yeah, I played the first Oceanhorn. It was fun. So yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Oh, it looks good, but I can definitely tell the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom inspiration in there.
Oh yeah. It's like a Zelda clone. Like the first game when it came out, everybody was saying, "Oh, this is a Zelda clone." It's it's cool, it's interesting, But
it does look neat. It's doing a lot. I see a lot of different elements going on.
Yeah.
Now there's the flying stuff. But I think it looks impressive. The only thing that sort of doesn't look impressive is some of the character faces and models are not particularly amazing, but
kind of reminds me of some of the Square Enix like the Dragon Quest type of faces, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it looks cool.
I'll definitely got to keep my eye on this game.
Yeah. All right, so Carl, you're up next. What do you have for us?
Yeah, I chose Palia, which I realize now also apparently this is the PC closed beta date. But it's a free-to-play game, so it's kind of the beginning of this game. So this is coming out August 2nd on PC as a closed beta. Live the cozy adventure of your dreams in a breathtaking new world. Explore a vibrant land full of wonder and charm as you build a life and home for yourself with Palia, a free-to-play cozy MMO game. Befriend the local villagers, foster new friendships, and uncover the mystery of what happened to ancient humans. Immerse yourself in the village community by honing your skills in fishing, hunting, gardening, crafting, and more. Work together with friends new and old to relax and explore in Palia's immersive world and build a life that is uniquely yours.
Yeah, it looks like you could just be a chef. A lot of the time.
So I really like the art style of this. The character models, the faces on them are really like they're pretty expressive in that shot we just saw there.
Yeah, looks very Fortnite-ish though. I would have to
Yes,
say.
actually, definitely. The influence is definitely there, but also Breath of the Wild as well.
Yeah.
It is very much looks like your sort of survival crafting open world-ish thing. And I always have interest in those games. I never end up really like getting deep into one, but I always feel like there will be the one, right? That like I will love. I mean, because I love Minecraft. I guess that was sort of the one, those type of games.
Yeah. Looks like you're doing a lot of like world building here as well. So
yeah, and you see a lot of the cooperative sort of multiplayer aspects of them doing things together here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Could be fun, free to play. So maybe I'll try it. Well, not yet because it's the closed beta. But once they get
come on, you're not part of the closed beta.
No.
Come on, everyone, we got to tweet at them. Do hashtag get Carl in the beta.
I think it's too late to.
Yeah,
well, I
never
guess
too late, Carl. That's quitter time.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So anyway, you can check out all of these games as well as all the other games releasing in August on releases.com. So for all of you video viewers, the link is there below. And for you audio listeners, www.releases.com. So please check that out. So those were our picks of the week. So now it's time for the PS Plus, the drop for August. So Burley, take it away.
Yeah, after having like 2 good months, this month was not as good of a month. So the first game on there, PGA Tour 2K23. So that's coming to PS4, PS5. The second game on here was one I've actually got something to say. Dreams. That was done by Media Molecule. That came out in 2020. Highly recommend. Try it out. Whether you're actually sitting there making games and stuff in there, or just playing people's creations. I tried to make stuff in there. Not my cup of tea. But playing people's creations, and like I was streaming this game when it came out, it was a lot of fun. And just to see the creations, and like I would talk with people that were their stuff, the games they created. It was really cool.
I was gonna say Media Molecule took forever to come out with that game, because I remember during the whole PS4 era, it's like it was delayed. It's like the game was, like in limbo for a while too, right, Burley?
Oh yeah, that was a long development. But once you play it and you see how much you can do with this, like you are only limited in this by your creativity or lack of creativity.
Right.
It just the amount of stuff you can do. Highly recommend checking out. And the last one is Death's Door, coming to PS4, PS5. This one I have not played, so this one I will definitely download, grab, and try it out.
Cool. Yeah. 2K23, Burley. There you go. Golfing with Tiger.
Tiger Woods is still on the cover of golf games in 23. Well, I guess it was a 22 game.
Yeah, I guess.
Surprised at that.
Yeah. Well, who else are they going to put on there, Carl, that people, I guess, around the gaming community recognize?
Someone who's still relevant in golf, who's still a contender.
Rory McIlroy or something like that, I guess.
He's a name. He could be, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, isn't Tiger Woods, doesn't he still play?
Yeah.
And he still does well. Like, I know it's not his heyday where he was winning everything and getting paid like $500 million a year.
Yeah.
I think he's still obviously like, a very good golfer, but he's not competitive on the highest level.
Okay. All you golfing fans out there and that are gamers, we love you all.
Yeah,
of
right.
course.
So, Death's Door, that's awesome, because I heard a lot of great things about that.
Yeah, Death's Door is good.
I would absolutely try.
Yeah.
And Dreams is a story, man. I cannot believe that they're putting it on PS Plus now when you had years of time where you could have possibly made this game, or not even really much of a game, so much as like a tool set, creation tool, to be something more by putting it on PS Plus, much earlier. And now after the game is already dead, you're like, oh, here it is.
The game unfortunately it did not last as long as it could have. Sony in my opinion should have done more stuff when the game was coming out, like the 1 year anniversary of the game. They had the whole like Dreams Awards, and you would go into the game and like they'd have this hall section. You can see people's different games, what was up for what and stuff. Sony could have done a lot more to help push it. And honestly, when the extra and premium came out, this should have been on the service. This was one of the games that should have just launched. You get it at least at the extra level.
Yeah.
Just have it ready to go. Like this, putting it on here, it's like, I hope people experience it, and I kind of hope it gives some movement and gives something, because I'm curious to see what Media Molecule is going to do, because they were like because this game came out like months before the PS5 came out, and they were talking about some PS5 stuff for it, and I know got a small PS5 update, but nothing I remember hearing coming of it after that.
Yeah. All right, so that's the PS Plus drop for August. So, Carl, next up, No
Hey,
Game
I
Pass
just-
stuff this week. Yeah. So
I just signed up for the Palia closed beta, and I
Oh, really?
sent you guys my friend link, whatever.
oh, cool. Thanks.
Share a
Cool.
link, refer a friend in
Nice.
in our Discord. So
Nice.
Nice.
enjoy, guys.
All right. All right.
There you
So
go.
next up, Amazon Prime Gaming free games for August have been revealed. So we're going to go ahead and go through those. And the link
Oh.
to videogameschronicle.com is below for you
New feature.
video viewers. And for you audio listeners, www.videogameschronicle.com. Yeah, this week, because we talked about the Game Pass last week. This week, I thought we'd go
Yeah,
over
there's no
the
new
Prime Gaming.
Game Pass.
No new real news for
Yeah.
Game Pass. So Prime Gaming for August. What do we got, Carl?
I didn't realize I was supposed to be reading this. Good. Sheesh.
I sent you the format and it has your name on it. Come on. It means you didn't
missed
read the
that.
format for the show.
I didn't, I just kind of didn't think that was happening. Here we go. Okay, I got the link here. Let's
Okay,
get
yeah.
it. Oh my
It's-
goodness.
It's
not
Burley. It's
very
that
obvious.
Windows
There it is.
issue, right?
There it
The
is.
Windows update. Yeah.
We need to reapply
Alright.
the update to Carl.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay. August 3rd, Payday 2, plus the Gauge Mod Courier DLC. Epic Game Store. August 10th, Farming Simulator 19. Epic Game Store. I got to say that because the next one, August 10th, Blade Assault, is the Amazon Games app. And then you got to cross that one. So I can't really. That's not happening anymore. August 17th, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, Amazon Games.
Nice.
August 17th, Four Tales, Amazon. Driftland, The Magic Revival, Amazon Games. August 24th, In Sound Mind on Amazon Games. And then August 31st, Summertime Madness Legacy Games Code. It's very bizarre that there's 3 different places they're putting these free Prime Gaming stuff. But okay.
Well, it's probably dealings they have, to get, because I know they're giving games. They're going to try and do it as much cheap as they can. So, okay. Oh, Epic, you were planning on giving something this week. Here, let's make a deal here. Let's split the cost between the both of us.
Oh, they got also free in-game loot and content drops. Big one. Honkai Star Rail listed. No. Warzone 2, Black Desert Online, Dead by Daylight, and Overwatch 2 has some free in-game loot.
Hey, that
Interesting,
Honkai
yeah.
Star Rail, that's pretty popular, especially out here in Japan. So
Yeah, I'm happy
stuff.
for it. I was playing it. I just don't have time for like that type
Yeah.
of free to play, gotcha type game.
Yeah, and Burley could probably attest to the streaming community. It's pretty big there as well.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
saw
it's big on there. I know quite a
Yep.
few people that got into it, and
Yep.
I've had a lot of people watching them.
I would recommend it especially if you're a console gamer. It's going to come to PS5. You should check it out.
Yeah.
It feels really good to play with a controller. I tried that on PC. So.
Yeah, it's great stuff. All right. So next up, obviously, this is a gaming news podcast, but of course, here on the Arena Productions, we do a lot more than just video game coverage. We do, of course, entertainment and pop culture related content here. And this last week, of course, we did our episode 6 recap and discussion of Marvel's Secret Invasion. So Burley and I did that. So please come and check that out. And of course, as we talked about earlier in the episode, we're going to be recording the recap and our discussion of the entire season of, or probably the limited series of Marvel Secret Invasion. So please check that out when we drop that episode as well here on the Arena Productions. But episode 6 recap and discussion is up now, and you can go and check that out. And then on our Star Trek side, obviously next month, Star Trek Lower Deck Season 4 is premiering. So I put up a Season 4 preview for you all. So please go and check that out. It's going to be a great show again. We love our Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks community, as well as all of our other communities here on the Arena Productions. And also for Star Trek, we also have now up on the channel our Season 2, Episode 8 recap and discussion of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Under the Cloak of War, which was a very dark episode. And yeah, it was really great to talk about it. So please go and check that out as well. So a lot of content here on the Arena Productions. And of course, we also have a Patreon. So you can come check out our Patreon. So all of the shows that we do here that drops on YouTube are also on our Patreon in ad-free format. And also we have exclusive content over on Patreon. So you can go and check us out. And also you can become a member there for free and then consider joining and becoming a patron later on. But check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/The Arena Productions. So the link for you video viewers is below. And of course, for you audio listeners, www.patreon.com/The Arena Productions. So yeah, we got a lot of great content over there. Marvel, fantasy, Star Trek, Star Wars. So a lot of great content, ad-free, obviously, for all of you patrons. So yeah, and exclusive content, our post shows that we do for the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast is exclusive to our patrons. So yeah, go and check that out. Some good stuff. All righty. So Patreon. All right. So it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this upcoming week. So I'm going to continue with the Jedi Survivor and we'll hopefully work towards completing that. So Carl, any other games besides Wolfenstein this upcoming week?
No, I don't think so. I want to finish it, so I don't think I'm going to have time to play anything else.
Okay. Burley, how about you?
Pikmin 4, try and see if I can finish that next week. Also continue on with the Ratchet Clank. My spare time on the Steam Deck, probably see if I can finish that up next week.
Nice. All right. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought of all of the news stories that we talked about, as well as our picks of the week. Anything that you'd like to discuss with us? Of course, this episode, after we finish up live recording here, will go up later on to our playlist. Of course, that will be the edited version of the show. But please be sure to leave us some comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for when we drop a new episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, as well as all of our other content here on the Arena Production. So we thank you so much for your support and thank you for watching. So that's going to do it for us. So to end the show, our indie recording artist spotlight. Our spotlight is on Ian Post. So no stranger to the podcast, Ian Post has established himself as a highly sought-after composer in video and film scoring. An alumnus of the Berklee College of Music, his professional career has taken him throughout the world to collaborate with artists on an extensive range of projects. So he recently left his London-based studio in order to partner with Artlist with a focus on film soundtracks and exclusive production projects. From his album titled Odyssey, and the song is called Supernova. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 140. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next episode. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the outro with music. Peace out.